Welcome back to Dow Twang. I'm Dave. Really a free form intro there today of a 1-4-1-7-4-7 to be clearer, more accurate. A B flat 7 to an E flat 7. Okay, and I just made a little loop there, on my looper, and it not balanced that great because I'm literally just like playing over it, like, and then recording it on one track or whatever. It's not a separate backing track. So, set up something like that once you get to the part where you want to start jamming over a little progression with what we're going to talk about today. But real quick, and then we're going to jump right into some tab and some kind of this is a work detail thing today. Sorry, doesn't mean it doesn't have to. It can't be fun, but this is about really like how to teach yourself, some of this stuff, and so I really hope it helps. And like often happens, I'm working with students throughout the week, and that's how I know what's going on with folks. And hey, well, I saw this up on YouTube, and show up at the lesson, here's what I got. And this is cool. And I really like the sound of this. Maybe we can, work on, concepts related to this or whatever. And it's great because it gives us something where I know that it's something that, you're interested in and everything. So, it was this use of, arpeggios, seventh arpeggios, dominant seventh to be exact. And in kind of a blues, 1-4-5 format. And it, the video that they had seen on YouTube from another source, featured the arpeggios in different parts of the neck of the same chord, starting on different chord tones and stuff. And so, I took the challenge, like right off the bat. I couldn't just do everything that they were telling me had been in this video, right? So I'm not that advanced, So, later on that night, I'm sitting there on the couch. I'm like, okay, where am I really at with this, And so I said about this. I did it in B flat, just not sure, just picked B flat. And I was like, if somebody told me to play a B flat arpeggio, or if that's what I wanted to do to start off a blues, improvisation or something, I'd just probably go right to that, Old Faithful. Right? It's just right there. I'm going to make mistakes today because, like I said, this is like we're doing this together. This isn't some rehearsed thing that, here's how you do it and here's all the licks and whatever. This is how to teach yourself to use this kind of information. And so you're watching me do it with you in real time, just like we're having a lesson. So, I'm real familiar with that when it fits right over that same position as the blues scale. That one's just right under my fingers, right? But then I'm like, well, wait, okay, so let's kind of ignoring this whole part of the neck, right? Like, okay, B flat. So I'm going to put the tab up right now. And that first one, it says 1-7 because it's just all those first few examples are the B flat, right? It doesn't go to another chord, to the 4 chord or anything, right? This is just working on the B flat 7 in different shapes and regions of the neck. So, let me make sure. You know what I just did? I just checked to make sure I was recording this video. Last week I sat and did a whole thing and I hadn't hit record on QuickTime. So I guess I'm now I'm double checking. So B flat 7. So what I did is first thing I did is I jotted down on paper, B flat, D, F, A flat, right? And I actually wrote it down. I mean, I know it, but I just wrote it down. So it's just like every time, the whole time I was doing this, I just would glance at that. Like, because you get down here and start thinking about something else, whatever, and all of a sudden you're kind of spacing out. I'm like, what's the fifth, whatever. So those are the only four notes that are being used in this exercise, right? On the B flat part, at least. So then what I did is I went down and I said, well, if I start at the beginning of the neck, the lowest part of the neck, what's the first one of those four notes that appears, down on the bass string? Okay, and it's F, right? That first one on the tab right there is it's F to F. On all of these examples, I made the outer strings, start and end on the same fret. Okay, you could go further in each position to reach up and play like you do here. Right. If your ear wants that, then go ahead and do that. But just to keep it, where it makes sense on paper here. Now, notice once I just said that we started on the fifth, the F, right? So, if you're not, how do you know that's the fifth? Well, go back to something that you are certain of. Root, major, third, fifth, that note's F. F. I can actually sing that low register. F. Okay. So the notes will, if we're ascending on all of these, they'll always be in the same order. So if you took those four notes and made a continuum, kept repeating it on a piece of paper, when you look down on it, down at it, every time you're on any starting note, you just take off reading from left to right, and those are your ascending notes, okay? Till it repeats itself. Fifth, flat seven, root, major third. See, there I went and took it out of a single position. But, treat your ear to that, right? And, don't worry if you don't memorize right away, like every fret, name of every note and stuff. Do it by shape as well, right? So, in this case, my root's down here on for B flat is right here on the sixth fret of the sixth string, the lowest string. Down here, it's fret 1 of the fifth string. But to fill out that position, my fifth is right below it. Now, I did go up to the extra note there, but so now let's take that first line there. This starts on the fifth. Fifth to fifth. Then flat 7 to flat 7. A flat to A flat. But the notes are the same as that B flat arpeggio in any of these instances. Then, okay, then I've got it next. This is all in your PDF down below. Then I'll put the next slide up here because it goes to the next line. I used that one a lot in that intro, right? I'm starting on the third, the major third, D, going up in order. I love that one because later on when we go to the B flat, to the E flat, it's like sitting right there. So a lot of these will, and I'm not going to do a ton of demonstration on this today because it'll just bog you down. You got to start, with, the process, because when you go to the E flat, to the 4 chord, down below there's a bunch of pairings of that on the PDF, okay? And they stay right in that kind of similar position. So it goes. But see, the one for the E flat there will be one of the shapes that you've already been rehearsing for the B flat, just in a different location. So it's kind of like caged in that regard, right? You're just, oh, okay. I recognize that shape, but I see now because it's moved down here. That's a different uh, chord root, right? Start from the beginning and go through it, and all of that will make sense. Some of you, the overview that I'm giving is like right away. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, that I get that because I can relate that to other things that I do with chord shapes and things. If any of that bothers you, start from the beginning of that PDF and just work it. Now the other thing that there's 5 shapes on there, right? Don't worry about labeling them shape 1, shape 2. If that works for you and you can figure out an organized way of doing that for yourself, then great. But don't get bogged down with too much. Here comes the burglar. Huh? All right, real quick. Come here. Real quick burglar break. She wants to say hi. Okay. Good girl. All right, go on. Yeah, see, then she just takes off because that was enough to get her by. So go through the PDF, and you'll see this stuff will, in the intro, I did mingle in some blues scale stuff or whatever, and you'll kind of naturally start to do that, like when when you're in a certain area, you recognize like your minor pentatonic. You just go ahead and put that in because that works across the 1 and the 4, just like in a 12-bar blues, right? But the other thing that I'm going to ask everybody to do here, if you have a way to print that PDF, is print it out and take a pencil and write root 3rd 5th flat 7, root 3rd 5th flat 7 next to every one of those locations that are indicated on that tab. That is the important part. It's the muscle memory is ultimately the important part, right? But knowing where that root is within each one of those constellations, that's what's going to allow you to go around and use this stuff in real time. Don't skip over that. I'm not going to go on a big rant lecture about it, but man, try it, do it, right? Even if it's like, I already got it. I don't need to see what happens. Start printing your stuff out. Start making your own notes. Work it out on paper. Get some blank, guitar neck diagrams, and then go yourself and write it out. The shapes, and so that you can see it in a bird's eye view or a plan view, right? And write root 3rd 5th flat 7. Take another colored pen, one black pen, one red pen, and with the red one, write the note name of it if you want, right? But of course, the shapes are movable, right? So, most of us think in terms of shapes. That's B flat. If I move it up here, it'll be C. So it kind of makes sense to write it as root 3rd 5th flat 7, right? That's going to change your world if you've never done anything like that on paper. Okay? Hope you enjoy this one. The intro is just kind of like my version of where I'm at in my self-teaching to really use these shapes that I wasn't that used to. If you go back and watch that, you can sense a fair amount of hesitation at times, right? It's kind of like, you can see that I'm having to stop and think and look at it and then go to the next one. You'll get there. Let me know how this goes. Appreciate you. Talk to you next time.